Dear all, let us see now the statement of the theorem, fundamental theorem of calculus and simple problems based on the theorem. So you look at the problem so that you will come to know when to use this fundamental theorem of calculus part 1 theorem. Let us see g of x equal to integral 0 to x root of 1 plus t square dt. So g of x is given. Question is find the derivative of g of x. What is the derivative of g of x? That is g dash of x is asked. G dash of x equal to question mark. So you look at the statement of the theorem, g dash of x is equal to f of x. Let us see, f of x is continuous. F of x is a continuous function on the closed interval a comma b. And let us define g of x, which is integral a to x f of t dt, where x lies somewhere between the interval a to b. X lies somewhere between the interval a to b. Then the g of x is continuous on closed interval and also differentiable on open interval a comma b. And g dash of x is equal to x. This is the statement of the theorem. Okay, statement of the theorem, that is fundamental theorem of calculus part 1. That is f of x is if f of x is continuous on closed interval a comma b, then g of x is defined by integral a to x f of t dt, which is also continuous on closed interval a comma b and differentiable on open interval a comma b, and g dash of x equal to x. Let us see a problem based on the theorem so that you can understand the statement of the theorem. See, g of x is given. What is the definition? What is defined in fundamental theorem of calculus part 1? G of x equal to integral a to x f of t dt, where a is 0 and x we have upper limit is x, f of t dt. So once you know f of t, you can get f of x. Okay. So by fundamental theorem of calculus, g dash of x is f of x. So root of 1 plus x square is the answer. Let us see another problem so that you may feel easy the theorem. G of x is given. Question is find the derivative of g of x. That is g dash of x is the question. So let us compare this with the statement of the theorem. G of x is integral a to x f of t dt. Here a is 1 here. The upper limit is x here. So we can use, once g of x is, given g of x is defined like this, then this theorem can be used. G dash of x equal to f of x. So f of t, and when t is replaced, you will get t is replaced by x, you will get f of x. Okay. So you can use here, you can use the theorem because the upper limit is x and the lower limit is 1. So which looks like a statement of theorem where g of x is defined. G of x equal to integral 1 to x f of t dt. Okay. So g dash of x is equal to f of x. Once you know f of t, you replace t by x, it becomes f of x. It is x cube. Okay. It is x cube. G dash of x is x cube plus 1. Let us see now the fundamental theorem of calculus part 2. See, like fundamental theorem of calculus part 1, here also the function f of x is continuous on closed interval ab. Then what do we say? There we say g of x is integral a to x f of t dt, where g dash of x equal to f of x, right? Here what we say, if function is continuous, then we say integral a to b f of x dx is equal to capital F of b minus capital F of a. How do you find small f of x is given? How do you find capital F? What is the relationship between capital F and small f? Once you know small f, integrate small f, you will get capital F. That is, capital F is the antiderivative of small f. You know differentiation, anti-differentiation is integration. So when you integrate small f, you will get capital F. Once you know capital F, find a capital F of x is known. Put x equal to b, you will get capital F of b minus capital F of a, so which is the value of the integral. So you can easily integrate if you know, if the integration is in the form integral a to b f of x dx, you can easily integrate using fundamental theorem of calculus part 2. Let us do a problem so that you may feel easy. Find the derivative. Okay. So it looks like integral a to b f of x dx. So where we can use a fundamental theorem of calculus part 2. So what is fundamental theorem of calculus part 2? First you find what is f of x. Next you find capital F of x. Integrate e power x, you will get e power x. Once you know capital F, the value of the integral is f of b minus f of a. f of 3 minus f of 1. Capital F of 3 minus capital F of 1. Capital F of x is e power x. Capital F of 3 is e power 3. E power 3 minus e power 1, which is the value of the integral. Let us try another problem. Integral a to b x dx. So small f of x is x. What is capital F of x? X square by 2. The integration of small f is capital F. Once you know capital F of x, the value of the integral is f of b minus f of ba. That is b square by 2 minus a square by 2, or b square minus a square by 2 by fundamental theorem of calculus part 2. Okay. So let us see some more problems. See, very easy problems. What is wrong with the calculation? The question is asked. Integral minus 1 to 3, 1 by x square dx. So when we know you take x square to numerator, x power minus 2. Integrate x power minus 1 by minus 1. Right? When you integrate, upper limit minus lower limit. So substitute upper limit, lower limit. 3 power minus 1 is 1 by 3, where we have negative sign in the denominator. And lower limit, upper limit minus lower limit. That is negative sign. Another negative sign. When you substitute minus 1, another negative sign. Okay. So answer is given. What is wrong with the calculation is the question. Okay. We can use fundamental theorem of calculus part 2. Because the limits, you look at the limits, integral a to b f of x dx. Okay. What is said in the statement of the theorem? The function must be continuous in the closed interval minus 1 comma 3. Function must be continuous, function must be continuous in the interval, in the closed interval minus 1 comma 3 is the statement, right? When you look at the statement, see, function must be continuous on the closed interval a comma b. So here a is minus 1 and b is 3. So function must be continuous in the interval minus 1 comma 3. But listen here, between minus 1 and 3 we have 0 also. Between minus 1 and 3. Throughout the interval it must be continuous. But 0 will come in between the interval. So when 0 comes, the function is not continuous. So function has discontinuity at x equal to 0. So value of the integral does not exist. So this is wrong. It is wrong. That's what they have. What is wrong? It is wrong because function is not continuous at x equal to 0. So the value of the integral does not exist. Okay. A similar problem we have. What is wrong with this equation? Integral pi by 3 to pi secant theta tan theta d theta. We know integration of secant theta tan theta is secant theta. Upper limit minus lower limit. Secant pi minus secant of pi by 3. Answer is given. What is wrong here? So it is, we can use now fundamental theorem of calculus part 2. Integral a to b f of x dx. Okay. In the condition is function must be continuous throughout the interval minus pi by 3 comma pi. But the function is not continuous on the interval pi by 3 comma pi. Between pi by 3 and pi by 2 comes, right? Pi by 3 is 180 by 3 is 60. Pi is 180. 60 comma 180. Where 90 comes in between. So when you substitute 90, see tan 90 is infinity. So function is not continuous. Function is not continuous at x equal to pi by 2. So fundamental theorem of calculus 2 cannot be applied. So since it is the function is not continuous at x equal to pi by 2, theta equal to pi by 2. So this is wrong. Okay. I hope you have understood this. It is very important for 2 marks. So you go through. Thank you.